closer, come a little closer. Ain't got far to go. Careful, careful, be real careful. You have so much to learn. Walk beneath this sacred ground. We got the talent surrounding all around us. Ain't no Nashville or Hollywood. They got some music that makes you feel good.
Hi, my name is Justin Merrick, and I'm the Operations Director and Vocal Director for Stax. A lot of what we're working on for our upcoming production, Sacred Side of Soulsville, spawned out of the idea of two things. What is a soul communicator, and where did soul come from? And so I think a big challenge for the staff is, number one, we learned last year where some of our weaknesses were in terms of a staff. And so we brought on additional staff members to help us along that part of the journey. So I think a big part of the challenge is we are all working on different schedules and bringing everybody together so that the students have a well-rounded experience. From acting to recording in the studio to learning their music to learning the history of where all of this music comes from, and then having a general appreciation for discipline in their craft.
Make the scale, please, and make it then just change it up a bit. So utilize the scale. It's right there in front of you. Play this sharp minor scale. You do it again. Thank you. Now, utilize that. You got 4 measures. Any of those notes you can play any way you like. You can use chromaticism to play it. The rhythms you play are actually quite cool. Now, if you put some scales behind it, you'll have something. Y'all play soft enough so you can hear them, and you play out solo. This is your time. Take it. 1, 2, 2, 3. Come on, you know the scale. You got it.
We're going into Black History Month mode, right? Yeah. And so last year we did, what's the title of the show? And so we visited the idea of what soul is. And so I know we've been working, and you guys have been kind of anticipating what we're going to be working towards this year. And so this year we wanted to take a different slant on it. So instead of the idea of what is soul, we're looking at the idea of where soul comes from. Can anybody tell me what a soul communicator is?
Me.
Tell me. Tell me.
People who communicate. Me.
Speak up. I need to hear one person at a time. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Who knows what a soul communicator is? Take a stab at it. Kylie, stand up.
My name is Kylie.
Snapback. Soul communicator. Snapback. Soul communicator is a person who has who can communicate through the musical and figure out what soul is, and can actually feel the soul through music.
Quite honestly, it's code or language. And the way that you can see that demonstrated, I taught elementary music, so every now and again I'd do something, and then the class would do it back. Can you help me? So now, the first form of communication you think was what? From long distances? Yes, call and response, but by the use of an instrument, more than likely the drums. And why? Because it can travel long distances. If you guys are driving in the middle of the city and it's on a Friday night, and you hear a football game, there's only a couple of things you're going to hear. The drums, more than likely, and a piccolo, right? You hear the really highs and the really lows. You can always hear the drums passing by like a football stadium. And it's the same way, because drums can travel a long way. Fortunately, it's been written that drums, African drums specifically, came to the Americas via the Caribbean. How? Say it again?
Slaves.
Yeah, the slaves, right? And so, and the slave trade coming through the Caribbean and eventually through the Gulf and, of course, the port of New Orleans. You guys understood what I said. We communicated. And so we are communicators. And so what you guys will have to do throughout this process is help us give a great and clear definition of what a soul communicator is. On television, tend to depict African Americans or Africans as stupid or dumb. Am I right? Not only did these Africans come over to this land and have their language stripped, their culture stripped in a lot of ways, they learned a new language and then began to code the new language for what? Through spirituals and songs. Follow the drinking gourd. Anybody know what that's about?
Like
following the what?
North Star.
Yeah, well, the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper. It looks like a drinking gourd, right? And so the Africans were so smart that they took a new language and coded it so that only they could understand. And that's been happening all the time. So, for example, when we talk slang, it's a what? It's coded in a way, right? And it's like, man, that dude was bad. What's that mean? He's good. Spirituals and African drumming, all the way up to soul music. We have to cover all of those major areas. Gospel music, jazz, rhythm and blues. So we have a lot of things that ragtime, we have a lot of music to cover.
Classical.
Classical music. Marches, yes, classical. John Philip Sousa marches, which directly affects ragtime. Okay, we'll talk about that. Thank you guys.
We have the music component that we have to cover. And so by the end, benchmarks, right? What you should know are the different chambers of soul music, right? But what that means, what the difference is between a blues piece and a gospel piece. What is the difference, right? Or the difference between jazz. You should all be able to speak intelligently on what that is. We have another component. We have the acting component is here, right? And so what you see in front of you now is the creative team that's going to be helping to steer the entire project. What's up?
All right. Well, my name is Emmanuel McKinney.
I'm Maya Robbins.
We definitely are excited to work with you all. We have had a lot of experience with acting, both in Memphis, outside of Memphis, and we would love to share that with you. But one thing that I will be focusing on is making sure that we carry the message of the play. And what I mean by that means I'm only going to be working with a small select few of you, the lead roles and the lead characters, and how you're going to carry the message of the play. If our message is soul communicators, you have to be in tune with what your role in the play or in the whole musical is. Because if you don't convey that message to the audience, they won't get it.
Another major component that we want to focus on is to make sure that there is a cohesiveness between the music, the dance, as well as the acting.
One thing I feel like with this group, the music and the dancing, a lot of times that's what probably brought you into this program, but the acting, a lot of times is something that we definitely want to work on, and we want to make you feel like you're confident in standing in front of someone and delivering lines. So that's what our main goal is.
And that's what's going to solidify you all as a triple threat, right?
Yes.
We don't want it to stop at the singing, we don't want it to stop at the dancing, but we want to be full triple threat, yeah?